There are 3 things a gay always needs.
Craziest thing happened to me today.
We gotta know the tea. We gotta keep the tea. We gotta be the best friend.
Guess who I saw on the dating app the other day?
I'm so glad that phones cannot talk, because if my phone could talk, the secrets that it would tell.
Wow. I really was blessed with good looks. Like, look at me.
Did you see me lip syncing? Did you see me lip?
I do see you in like the little little box in the bottom. Hey everybody, welcome to Good Day Gay. Happy Mardi Gras out in Australia, y'all. It is the start of Mardi Gras season.
And it's actually the end of Mardi Gras season.
Oh, that's right. That's right, because we already passed Sydney. My bad.
Well, it
starts
the
here
Mardi Gras
after it ends there.
Well, no, the Mardi Gras Sydney starts maybe mid-Feb, and then it finishes so we're pre-recording this episode right now, but it's going to be released on Mardi Gras weekend, which is it's always the first weekend in March, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like the big Mardi Gras celebration, but it pretty much starts, oh my God, I have to Google it right now. Happy Mardi Gras.
So just in case, okay, so like obviously we're in Australia, we're in the States, and we're in a few other parts of the country or the world. Mardi Gras is Pride.
Yes.
But so there's a lot of people who sometimes get it confused and they're like, oh, it's Mardi Gras in Australia and it's Pride. It's like, no, Mardi Gras is Pride. Mardi Gras in the States is something completely different, which happens in New Orleans.
Yes. Correct. So the first Mardi Gras started this year on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Oh, the lovers, Kylie Minogue. We're being extra today because it's freaking gay tax. Like, that's why I'm being extra right now, even though we just came off of another episode. Like, why wasn't I extra in that episode? But anyway, so it started on the 14th of Feb, but this is coming out on Mardi Gras weekend, March the 1st, March the 2nd. So happy Mardi Gras to all the gays, the she's, the days, the thems. Happy Mardi Gras. Happy Mardi Gras,
everybody. And just as a little heartfelt moment, that's where me and Paul met, was at World Pride Mardi Gras in Sydney. We both want chicken.
Give us your best Aussie accent. Say happy Mardi Gras in your best Aussie accent. Yeah.
Happy Mardi Gras.
I feel like that was a little bit New Zealand. Like, it was a little bit New Zealand, but it was good. Do you know what I mean? Like, you said, like, hippie Mardi Gras. Like,
happy Mardi Gras.
Yeah, that's probably pretty Aussie. I mean, New Zealand, but yeah, I don't know.
You said the last time I did an Aussie accent, it was New Zealand too. So at least I'm consistent.
You're getting close. It
might be a little better this time.
That's better. That was a bit more Aussie, but yeah.
Do an American one. Sarah, tell everybody happy Mardi Gras. American accent.
Hey y'all, just wanted to say happy Mardi Gras. Love you guys. Oh my gosh, that went from like American to Australian. It's like, do I even know where I am right now? I don't even know. I don't know. We got to stop. We got to do the episode. We got to talk about the gay tax right now.
Okay, y'all. So welcome to Good Day Gay podcast. I am Russell Ray, along with my co-host Paulie B. Y'all, we are talking about the gay tax, and you know what? With the gay tax, I took it from a different perspective when we initially started talking about this conversation, and Paul took it in a different direction. So my perspective is the gay tax is why the gays have to pay more for everything. Like, why is it so cost heavy to be part of the LGBT community? Why is it? And some of the reasons that I found were that you have to live in a safer space. You know, that's where it started, right? So you want to live in places where you don't put yourself in danger, where there's homophobia, where you want to put yourself in a community that's thriving with other gays, and that tends to cost money, which is why we just talked about this on the last episode, is Austin, Texas now is getting so expensive because all the gays from LA went to Austin, Texas is the gay south of Los Angeles, or like
But
Los Angeles of the South. Lord.
But I mean, like, okay, so let's think like neighborhoods in Sydney, Australia, Surrey Hills, Darling Harbour, like those areas. It's expensive to live there. Like, but the gays pay the money to live there. In Melbourne, you're living in your Fitzroy, you're living in your Brunswick. Like, it's again more expensive to live there, but the gays want to live there. LA is what, WeHo?
WeHo, and then you have like a couple branches off of oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Obviously, so you have San Diego, WeHo, you have Hell's Kitchen in New York City.
But even in what's it called?
San Francisco, Castro Valley or Castro district.
The Castro, Even in oh my gosh, I'm having a mental blank. What's the other borough in New York? Brooklyn. Even in Brooklyn, like some of those suburbs are expensive.
Well, Brooklyn is, you're going to get a lot of brownstones, and Dumbo is very beautiful, and you're going to get brownstones there, and you have celebrities who live in the Dumbo area, like Michelle Williams.
Williamsburg as well. Those are neighborhoods, like, but they're expensive.
Yes. So it costs a pretty penny to be gay. Not only that, you have to stay young. You have to look young. I mean, Paul and I, we naturally look like we're in our 20s, so we have no work done. So you're welcome. But also when it comes to, you just can't have a regular relationship and want to start a family as a gay couple. Like, you have to go out, you have to get an attorney, you have to get a surrogate, you have to pay for adoption, you have to, all of these things add up. And then you have to make sure that, you know, if you want your child to have the opposite sex of a figure, right? So if you're a male to male couple and you want a female figure in your life, like, then you got to hire a nanny that gives that female figure aspect to your child. So all of these things add up and it gets so expensive. Why as gays do we love to travel everywhere in the entire world? That is the most inconvenient place to get to. We have no idea.
Oh my gosh. See, okay, so two things. So I also think of, maybe because I am a finance bro, I am an accountant, like there is a non-monetary aspect to tax as well. So when you talk about the financial tax, I also think about the trade-offs, like the things that you're giving up. So just then talking about, you know, if a gay couple wanted to, or if a same-sex couple, sorry, I should say same-sex. So if a same-sex couple wanted to adopt, or if they wanted to have children, like it is harder to do that. But then if a same-sex couple actually has children, what's the trade-off? You can't go to those circuit parties every weekend. You can't be out with your friends every weekend. Like, that's the tax that you pay, the trade-off that you make to have that. And just, okay, so when I was thinking about what you said, like, why do the gays travel near and far and, like, you know, super extra? I think of, where was I? Sorrento. I was in Sorrento, and I remember, like, you know, when I was on my trip, like when I did my 6-month trip, every city that I went to, I always Googled like gay area, gay clubs and bars, saunas, gay beaches, like all of that kind of stuff. So Sorrento is quite small, but there is a nude beach that's gay friendly. But to get there, you really have to like climb over rocks and stuff. Like you have to physically put yourself in danger to get to that nude beach. Like, why are the gays doing that?
There's a nude beach in Hawaii that is very similar. When I tell you, you got to climb through you got to climb a mountain, girl, to get to that other side. And then you got to not bust your ass from the falling gravel that's in between and the sand and all that stuff that's going on. It is a mission to get there, just for me not even to be nude, for me just to sit in a Speedo. And I'm like, I just want to tan, but I want to be around the gays. Because look, obviously in the States, there's still a lot of homophobia going on. So part of the gay tax is traveling to a safe destination to where you can authentically be around other gays and just live freely. And that has nothing to even do with the sexual manner. It's just like, for example, I was on a beach 2 weeks ago, and I was just laying out, and my shorts, I have like the little, what are they like? They're the European swim shorts. They're higher thighed.
Yeah.
Big O, you could tell he is Republican. Big old Republican pulls out his camera, just has to film me, right? Meanwhile, this fool's in shorts past his knees. He can't even take off his shirt because it probably looks hideous and disgusting. And I'm just like, why does my life bother you? And why does it bother you that I look so good compared to you? But again, we pay more for the gym memberships. We pay more to eat healthy in a different lifestyle. And like, it just, there is that tax on trying to just, you have to stay ahead of the curve, because I feel like there's an underlying unspoken pressure from outside societies that's not part of the LGBTQ plus community, that's like, you're not better than us, so you have to be better than them, which costs more money, time, and effort, which is in a sense a gay tax.
Yes, and that's like, so I love the concept of the gay tax that you know, when we were talking about season 2 and you had gay tax, I was like, yes. Yes to this episode, and this is going to be episode 5, and 5 is my favorite number, so yes to this episode. But when you said the gay tax, the first thing I thought of is like, why are the gays doing the most? Like, why are the gays being extra? Like I'm like, literally after we film this episode, I have to run to brunch, but this is my brunch outfit right now. You ready? Do you want to describe to the if they're not listening, if they're not watching on YouTube, do you want to describe my outfit to the
audience? Listeners? Yes. So Paul just placed on his Bad Bunny miniature glasses. He has, is that Gucci, girl? He got a Gucci purse.
It's Gucci, baby.
He got, I know my brands. Okay, could talk about gay tech. He got Cowboy Carter boots on. He got some shants. He has a cutoff tank. He has the fade going, the booty popping. He's doing squats. He's throwing his hands up. He's voguing. He's falling to the floor. He can't get back up because he got bad knees and he's in his 30s.
But like, why am I going to brunch dressed like this? Do you know what I mean? Like, why am I so extra?
Because you know what? I feel like the gays, and by gays, like, once again, we just want to make sure that we're encompassing everybody. We mean everybody. We're talking about it because everybody. We're talking about who Paul and I are. So the gays just have this knack and this urge to just want to live freely. So if you want to carry a person, you want to wear some cowboy boots, and you want to just, you know, dress like that with your little miniature Bad Bunny glasses on, so be it, right? Shane has a friend.
Wait, let me just say, I don't know. Like, yes, it's about expressing yourself, but this is very narcissistic, but is this narcissistic behavior? I don't know. But I low-key love it when I am going to walk into that cafe and I'm going to get the looks. People are going to be staring, and I'm going to be like, yes, stare. My outfit.
Because you could never, ever.
Because you could never.
Not even on your best day, sweetie.
My outfit at Laneway, I had this like denim ripped crop top that was like backless. I wore like these shorts that I'm wearing now. I had like denim. I had my Bad Bunny sunglasses on. I had my like Bottega rip-off bag. It's not Bottega, like, but it was like Bottega inspired bag. Like, I was serving fashion. And this one girl came up to me and she was like, you are the best dressed person here. Like, you are giving us fashion. And I was like, I know. And my fashion even considered the cool change to the climate in the nighttime, because I then took off my wraparound shirt, which was posing as a skirt. And then I put it on like the gays could never.
Come on, hey, Arnold. I mean, I know that's right.
But yeah, that's just me. Like, I love fashion. I love being freaking extra. I will find like, you know, I bought this in San Francisco for $400 US. Like, that's cheap.
Girl, my bank account.
Okay, but that's cheap. Like, this for a Gucci bag is cheap. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but again, like, why am I being so extra? Like why am I paying this tax to be extra? Do you know what I mean? And I just don't know why.
You know what? I feel like especially the gay millennials tend to pay more to be extra because when we were growing up, we didn't see everybody on TikTok who had access to this much money, who were being sponsored by Prada and who were being sponsored by all major brands. And so we still had that longing to kind of, we were looking at Naomi Campbell. We were looking at Heidi
Yes.
Klum. We were looking at Tyra Banks and all these supermodels, Giselle Bundchen, all these supermodels that were walking around in these high fashion, amazing looks. And then you did have the select few gays who were really prominent figures that were standing out back in that time as well, but they were far and few in between, opposed to now where it's overly saturated. You have, and not even in a bad way, it's great to see it normalized, because you see all of these influencers now who have millions and millions of followers, and there's femme gays, there's mask gays, there's trade gays, there's bears, there's twinks, there's all these different looks, and everybody's living their authentic selves. And so therefore we've paved that way. The gay millennials have paved that way from our elders, who really did have to step out into uncomfortable spaces to let it be known our space was a little bit more comfortable. And now you have the TikTok generation who is like running in 6-inch stilettos, baby, down the street in these fashions because they can.
And
I think it's about the sex appeal as well.
Yes. And I'm literally having an insight right now. Like the gays, like, we flock to pop culture, right? And pop
100%.
culture
It only exists because of us.
Exactly. And pop culture is everything. So, that's another tax that we always have to stay up to date. Like, we always got to give the most. Like, the second, what's it called? Lady Gaga, Abracadabra came out. Like everyone knew the dance within one day, right? Like how, to spend Abracadabra, like how many times did the gays watch that video clip just to learn the dance? Like, how much time was, quotation marks, wasted or invested into learning that dance? Like, that's the gay tax. Like, drag queens were out that weekend.
I was gonna say the gays are quick, but the drag queens are faster.
The drag queens are faster, and oh my gosh,
that weekend they had choreography, they had background dancers, and they had music, and they were booked and busy giving performance.
If anyone is paying the gay tax, it's the drag queens, honey. Like, they, wow, just the time and the effort and like the craftsmanship of drag, like, it's insane. It's insane. And that is a gay tax in itself. Like, that's a subsidy of the gay tax. Like, drag.
I will say there's 2 drag queens I would like to have on for that reason, because I feel like the gay tax,
I'm gonna be so excited,
in the drag world has gotten even higher because of Drag Race, and because drag queens, there was a running joke for the longest time of that, and you would see the memes all over the internet, is that drag queens got paid in drink tickets because this drag queens were thriving on tips of attendees to these events. So here's also another thing. The gay tax is that if you're a straight person walking into a gay LGBT area comfort zone, you better come correctly and knowing what you need. Which I will say, Josh Altman and his wife or baby mama, I don't know if they're still together or not, from $1 Million Listing Los Angeles on Bravo.
Yeah.
We were at Anchor in Laguna Beach, and they showed up, and they didn't have any money with them, but they noticed that we were all tipping the drag queens. And Josh Altman, without a blink of an eye, he ran over to the ATM machine. He pulled out probably about $100 and got cash from the bar, and they were tipping their drag queens. They were tipping their drag queens. And that's what even if you can't pull out $100, and if you don't have that luxury of doing so, sacrifice one of your drinks for the night and give out $10, because it's notorious that drag queens don't get paid or they're underpaid.
Yes, and that's like literally like being in like the United States for 2.5 months. Like, I fast learned that if
Mhm.
I'm gonna be in a gay bar within a gay city, and if I am watching drag, I need to tip these queens. Like, I will give up that tequila shot. I will give up that
Mhm.
tequila soda lime to tip this queen, because the queens out there, they were leaving me gagged. Like, oh my gosh, like it's just the thing, right? And like you said, like, if you're going to be an ally, or if you're going to be a straight person coming into our space, that's
Mhm.
the tax that you're going to pay. You're going to pay that, like, the gays are going to like push past you and hit you when Lady Gaga Abracadabra plays. Like, that's the tax that's good you're gonna pay. Like, you're gonna be hit by the gays when they're gonna punch you in the dance clip, like abracadabra, like they're gonna punch you. And then, like, in the United States, like, to give up that drink to tip the queens, like, that's the gay tax. So okay, we're onto something. Even the straights are paying the gay tax.
The straights do have to pay the gay tax, because let me tell you why. Like, okay, so here's a few things going on with the gay tax, because we've not only have we, again, our elders have paved the way and created these safe spaces for us, including Stonewall and New York City, which has branched out and allowed us to have multiple gay spaces in the United States. Was Stonewall, did it impact the Australian culture significantly?
I'm
Like, what's your guys' defining moment in LGBTQ history that was a movement that was as major as Stonewall in the United States?
I'm so bad. I'm really not a historian. Again, like, I'm like ashamed to say this, like, I pay the gay tax, but I don't know the gay history. Like, so I'm
Girl.
sorry. I'm sorry. I know, I'm sorry. We do have a gay bar in Sydney called the
Sydney called
Stonewall,
Stonewall.
correct? But
With
I
3
do
stories.
remember, yes, 3 stories. I do remember when gay sex was legalized here in Australia.
Gay sex?
I go.
Like intercourse? No, I'm being dead ass. Same sex
Oh
marriage.
my gosh. I
Same
can't
sex
believe I
marriage?
just, yes, I can't believe I just said
Okay.
gay sex on the
No,
podcast. Oh my
let
God.
me let me tell you. No, that's
Oh my
okay, because
God.
like intercourse in certain countries is outlawed. And so like I'm
Yes.
not from Australia, so it was definitely a shocker to hear that, but that's not what you meant.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm really
We're
sorry,
on the
guys.
same
I
page.
didn't mean the legalization of gay sex. I mean, because that would be cool. Legalize gay sex in public, in the cruising
Girl, not
areas. No.
in go
Oh
further
my
and further
gosh.
away from that's
You're gonna
tax.
kill me. You're gonna kill me. But I do remember when gay marriage was legalized here in Australia. I think I'd come out that year, or I'd come out like maybe the year before that gay like same-sex marriage was legalized. And I
Mm,
remember sitting on the bus and scrolling through my social media feeds and seeing like how happy people were. And it was just, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about the memory and talking about it. Like, it was insane that Australia really rallied together to
mm.
support this. Like, there's a TV show now on Stan called Invisible Boys, which is based off of a book. Um, it's about a group of gays that grew up in like a country town, Perth, like a Perth country town, a Western Australia country town, and it's set during the time of the legalization of same-sex marriage. Like, it's
Mm.
just, it definitely was a big, it was a big thing here in Australia for that. But I would say that's one of Australia's milestones in terms of gay history, same-sex history. Hmm.
That
Yeah.
and that like I think when was I was in college when this happened. I remember there being and again, when we talked about chosen family in the last episode, I was raised in a city that is predominantly influenced by a Christian, born again Christian church. And so there
Yep.
is a lot of misinformation that is thrown at you that people are just clinging on to. And I remember when this was even going on the ballot, and it was like, oh, I have gay friends, but I don't believe that you all should be marrying each other. And I'm like, and it's so crazy because, you know, as you age and you go into this next chapter of your life, so now we're in our 30s, I'm looking back at, wow, how uninformed are these adolescents and how groomed are these adolescents by the church? And mind you, I was born and raised Catholic, and sexuality and same sex was not really brought up or spoken about like in a negative fashion or like in any type. When I was brought up on is more of baby Jesus is watching you. And like, mind you, this is all going to come back to a point of the gay tax. But and you know the same thing because you're Filipino. So
yeah.
baby Jesus is watching you. You better do the right thing, and you better clean your room because baby Jesus was always watching, and baby Jesus has always been a baby. I don't care about what anybody has to say about it. Baby Jesus is still a baby. Okay, he is still little, still watching me. Okay, so baby Jesus was always watching me, and baby Jesus continues to watch me, and the angels and the saints and everybody was my guardians, and they were watching over me and making sure that I was taken care of. But there was never a moment where it was like being gay is bad, except for like one time in my college years. And it wasn't even I know we're like going into religion, but it wasn't even the priest that said it. It was like a secondary person that was reading scriptures at the front, because you know there's a little podium and everyone has to sing Hosanna in the highest. Okay.
Yes.
And so she's like, we're praying for these people, and we're praying for these people, and we're mind you, I was a go-go dancer at a club at this time. I was still going to church, and I was still gay. So like we want to pray for the strippers, and everyone's like, Lord, hear our prayer. And they're like, we want to pray for people that are battling homosexuality. And they're like, Lord, hear our prayer. So I texted Garrett, who I talked about in the last episode, and I'm like, girl, I'm getting double prayers. And so he's like, so now when something happens to me, he's like, yes, double prayers. And Garrett is like, just straight frat boy who's like also very comfortable in his sexuality because he's European, because he's from Sweden.
Yeah.
So like he'll always like, yes, gay prayers, and he'll do his little hands like that. So stick him on the side.
Not the double.
But like also part of the gay tax is having to be raised in heavily influenced areas that are strategically working against the gay community. Again, people forget, and Billy Porter recently touched on this as well, is that people forget that Pride is just not a celebration. Pride is also the resistance of you're not going to closet us. You're not going to take us out of mainstream. You're not going to get rid of us. We are here. We are here to stay, and we're not changing. We are going to have families. We're going to have marriages. We're going to have weddings. In everybody's eyes, it looks different. But again, in heterosexual couples, it also looks different. So you can have a simple wedding, or you can have an extravagant wedding, and it's the same thing on our side. So part of the gay tax is really trying to find yourself within all that.
Exactly. And that's what I was just about to say. So we've touched on the monetary value of gay tax. We've touched on the trade-offs that you have to make, which, you know, that trade-off itself is a tax. But then just now we're touching on the mental gay tax. Do you know what I mean? It's non-monetary, but it takes a mental toll on you. Like that's a tax in itself, to that internal battle with yourself where, you know, for you and I, we grew up in a culture where we were told like being gay is wrong. You know, if you're gay, you're not gonna have a happy life. Like you're not gonna have a wife and children. It's gonna be a sad life. Like that was a tax that you and I and so many people had to pay, to be like I feel this way, but family, society, media is telling me not to feel this way. Like that internal battle itself is a tax. Like it takes a tax on you, and it takes a toll on you, like mentally, emotionally, like, and the gays have to pay it. But
we do, but eventually you make your way, you find a workplace. Yeah. Oh, not Mardi Gras. Eventually you make your way to Mardi Gras, and everybody's just out living their life. But why is it okay? Here's another question. Why is it okay for women with big fake breasts to be wearing pasties out on the water or in the beaches, but it's not okay for a man to be wearing a Speedo on the beach. They're judged for it. Called homophobic things for it. But if you turn and call somebody out in the waters wife or girlfriend out their name because they're wearing pasties, all of a sudden everybody wants to fight you. But we're seen crazy. We're seen as the crazy ones. If we turn around, we want to fight. And girl, you know I'm always ready. Okay.
You really are. So am I. So am I.
Matter of fact, oh my God, some homeless lady tried to come at me the other day, and I told her, girl, I said, you are barking up the wrong tree. And she's like, I'm gonna mess you up. But she had said other words. I said, girl, don't make me slap the remaining teeth out your mouth. Get away from me. And I was on the phone with my friend, and she's like, now you telling her the remaining of her teeth? I said she was coming at me all crazy. I don't know if she was gonna pull out something on me. She had to know what's up. Lord,
look,
okay.
She didn't pay the teeth tax, that's for sure.
We are not laughing at her because of anything, but we're laughing because like people can be crazy. Like, and again, part of that gay tax is also there was a time where a significant amount of gays were thrown out and homeless because of not being accepted within their families or within, their communities. So again, New York, and this was showcased in Pose, the TV show. New York really kind of gave place with the ballroom scene, and really where Chosen Family started to construct, and that tax started to kind of relieve itself. And this is where the high fashions started coming in, because those ballroom families, house of whomever you were part of at that time, you're dressed to
House
all
of
look
LaBeija.
alike. You know what I mean?
I think like that's definitely why when we were planning out this season on the podcast, that's definitely why I thought, okay, gay tax needs to come out on Mardi Gras weekend, because Mardi Gras is a celebration of who you are. The theme this year for Mardi Gras is free to be. And as a community, we paid the fucking tax to be who we are
here and be able to live it.
And you know what? The tax that I'm paying right now for Mardi Gras weekend next week is not having a pizza, not having the ice cream that I want to eat, going to the gym every single day because I want to wear a sequin mesh top on Saturday. But
girl, meanwhile, I'm a Taco Bell.
But that's the tax that I have to pay if I want to be shirtless at Mardi Gras. Do you know what I mean?
Or
I have to like
want to do other things. You're basically not eating all day,
which is again a tax. You know what I mean? Like
it's a luxury to be able to want to have intimate time and being able to eat all day if you want to. Gays can't do that.
Okay, TMI. But when I was in my 20s, can I just tell
us?
Oh, that laugh. The first time I ever douched was when I was 30 years old. Because in my 20s, I never used to douche. Like I never needed to douche. My body just somehow cleaned itself, which is the gay tax of turning 30.
I can't relate.
I do. I'm really sorry. I always bring the episode to that point. And you know what? I do it with my barber all the time. Like my barber and I love my barber. Shout out to Ant at Plek Barbershop. Again, like it is a luxury to go to Ant, but the service that I get is amazing. Like, and Ant has a very high gay clientele as well. I met a guy the other day, and we were looking at mutual friends on Instagram, and he was like, how do you know Dana? And I was like, oh, her husband like cuts my hair. And he was like, no, he cuts my hair as well. And I was like, get away from my barber. But yeah, I always like, every time we talk, I'm the one that makes the conversation dirty. So yeah, it's the Pisces in me. It's Pisces season. Like I'm going to be extra dirty this month.
Meanwhile, the Aquarius in me is like, oh no, baby Jesus is watching. Baby Jesus is going to know all of this. He's gonna know that I'm at Mardi Gras.
Oh my gosh, you got a real laugh out of me.
Be
today.
careful.
Not
I'm
me.
just gonna send you. I'm gonna send you little baby Jesuses all weekend.
At Mardi Gras.
Starting on
Send it to me because you've got
in
me,
random
Bruno, and
places.
Assad. Literally, send it to me, Bruno, and Assad.
Oh my god. But also,
gay
let's.
tax,
I mean,
wow.
I want to get back into other parts of the gay tax.
Yep.
And other parts of the gay tax is, I mean, we don't have to deal with it. You and I haven't had to deal with this, but other parts of the gay tax is that people want defined jawlines. They want the Botox because they don't want that you keep getting dressed more and more into your fashion. You know, they're taking human growth hormones so that their bodies look good. They're getting, and here's the, we're gonna touch on this because straight people don't think that this is a thing. Gender affirming care that attributes to hair transplants. Hair transplants are considered gender affirming care, and gays also get hair transplants. There's a few influencers who I know who've gotten plugs or who've gotten, their eyebrows done, eyebrow transplants so they have thicker eyebrows.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm trying to get an eyebrow transplant.
Tattoos as well, like the hair tattoos. Yep.
The hair the beard tattoos, the little dots beard so that it looks like you have scruff. All these things because we're expected to look young and look good, and which we do, we really do. And I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. The gays do look good, but also there's so much more that comes, and part of it is in the intro where I talked about the gays got to know the tea, we got to keep the tea. So not only do we got to be the best friend, we got to be the worst enemy sometimes, right? So you got to back up the best friend so you can be the worst enemy because you got to have the back. So there's that. You got to be the confidant. You got to know the tea. You got to keep the tea. You got to know all the pop culture. You got to know what looks best in fashion. You got to know how your best girlfriend is going to look in her wedding dress and if it's the right wedding dress because she's expecting you to only give her the honest truth. If a girl gives her the honest truth, it's catty. If her husband gives her the honest truth, he's an asshole. But if the gay gives you the honest truth, it's the truth. Okay? So all of this is part of the gay tax that people just don't realize that we have to go through.
I also just I digress. I also want to talk about, because this came up in a conversation with me and my friends while we were driving from the nude beach here in South Australia. Again, to get to the nude beach, it's like a 1 hour drive from where I live. So I'm driving 1 hour to get to the nude beach. Can neither confirm nor deny if I go to the cruising area at the nude beach, but to get to the cruising area at the nude beach, again, you're like climbing over rocks and you could die. But it's the tax that people pay. So yeah, we had this chat and I brought it up with them, the gay tax. And one thing we talked about was like the gay tax in dating, right? Like I don't do it when I date. I genuinely am myself. Like I literally rock up to dates with my bags and with my boots being like, this is who you're going to get. You're going to get someone that loves to express themselves in fashion, that also is like, mask for mask, baby. But then at the same time, like not mask, like yes. But that's
mask for yes.
You mask for yes. I'm like genuinely myself when I go to dates. But, some people out there be paying the identity tax of like, not being their true self to try and get a man or to try and get a date. Like, again, that's another tax that people are paying. Like, I had this chat with a friend yesterday at the beach, and he was saying that he had 4 dates this week. And for 2 of those dates, he probably didn't really put in a lot of effort because he thought that the other person wouldn't put in a lot of effort. So, in terms of the dating tax, he didn't pay as much there. But then on another tax, he like washed his hair, and that was him putting in effort. Do you know what I mean? Like,
girl, not wash his hair.
I'm just trying to put
out of all the things he could have washed, it was just the hair. Lord, baby
but
Jesus, where are you?
Baby Jesus, wash my hair. But there there's a tax. Like the gays, like we really are be doing the most. We really be doing the extra, and sometimes we're not paying the tax. I wonder if it. Yeah,
No, girl, we're always paying the tax. Oh,
we're always paying the
speaking of
tax.
outfits, let me tell you. So Paul and I have different fashions. Okay. So I let me just picture this for you, right? Jennifer Lopez in that glass acrylic dress during the VMAs, and it's all cut up pieces of glass and it's a short little mini dress. I wanted that look, right? But you ain't gonna catch me in a dress because I just cannot be. These thighs will rub together too fast and cause a fire. It's just not gonna happen. So I found a tie, and it's a glass acrylic tie. I'll post a picture in it.
Yeah,
And that tie was $400, and I had to have it. But it was just like the J-Lo dress. And when I tell you, when I wear this tie anywhere, heads are turning. Last time I wore this tie, it's hanging in my closet. I have 3 of them. I have 2 of the glass ones, and I have a black acrylic one.
love that.
Last time I wore this tie was to a movie premiere, and I was working the red carpet, and I was doing interviews, and the amount of interviews that I got just because I had on that tie. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, your tie is amazing. You look so handsome. You look so beautiful. When I have a red carpet moment, let me tell you, I am structured. My hair is either curly as it is now, and there's a fade and there's a design in the back of my head, or it's blown out. When I tell you bougie and silky smooth, and my hair is blown out and it is shiny.
Love that.
It was like, your tie, oh my God, it's amazing. Oh my gosh, you look so handsome. Oh my God, where'd you get it? And I was like, you got to give me an interview before I tell you where I get this. Right. And it's like, they're so intrigued. Like,
and I'm just thinking now, like from an accounting point of view. So we pay the tax, right?
Mhm.
But we're paying this tax knowing that we're going to get the compliments. Like we're paying to get the income. We're giving the expense to get the income, honey. We're offsetting it. Like paying the tax is always going to be worth it. As a gay man, paying the tax will always be worth it.
I showed up to a wedding one time in a maroon and black suit with that black acrylic tie.
You need to show me this tie.
I stepped out the car. Matter of fact, there's 2 times I went to weddings where I've stepped out the car and just turned heads, right? So I stepped out. I was in this maroon outfit, and I saw it was my friend's wedding, and I saw her auntie. And so I get out and I'm like, hey, auntie, like, how you doing? You know, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, we were talking, and she's like, oh my God, you look so handsome. She's like, you look good. Da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, wait, what color is the wedding party? She's like, you're not in the wedding? Which it was no shade. It was like, it wasn't even in that sense, but she was like,
yeah,
damn, you look so good. You should be in the wedding. You know what I mean? And it was like that, like it was a surprise that I was not part of the wedding party because I was dressed to
you were dressed.
And when I tell you I was getting compliments left and right at that wedding, and that was not even my intention. My intention was to look my best for my friend
just show
at
up.
their wedding.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like people put money, and this was a nice wedding. People put money and effort into things like this. And so my thing is like, let me put the money and effort into my outfit, into my look. I want to make sure I'm showing up to have the most beautiful day. If they want a photo with me, I want to make sure that it's the most beautiful photo that they can have of me and her. And then this past fall, I got a dark teal green suit that I wore with a black turtleneck, and I had my chain hanging out.
I've seen
and
that
I had my little glasses on. And when I tell you, I stepped out the car and handed my keys to valet. Everyone at cocktail hour was turning. They're like, dang, you look so good getting out that car. And I was like, baby. And you know what? Part of the tax was it was hot as fuck because we're in California. And it was damn near 75 degrees, and the wedding was outside in the bleaking sun. But you know what? And one gay let me tell you about one gay, right? There's always one gay that got to throw
There's always
shade.
one.
One gay was like, well, you shouldn't be wearing a turtleneck, because I'm like, oh, it's hot. Like, mind you, at this point, we're on the inside, on the dance floor. And I come from the dance floor, mind you, because any dance floor that's in a building is going to be hot, even if you're in a tank top and booty shorts.
Yeah. If
I
you're
come
putting
back,
in the
I'm like,
effort, it's going to be hot.
I'm like, it's hot, right? And he's like, well, that's what you
Yeah.
get for wearing a turtleneck. And I was like, bet you can look as good as me, not even on your best day. Not even on your best day, baby, because I don't have Botox or anything. Not that there's shades to anything with Botox, but don't come for me if I didn't send for you. If I didn't tell you nothing, don't come stepping into my territory talking about how I look, because I didn't come for how you look. I just made a comment of that I'm hot because I was out there dancing for 20 minutes.
I would have literally responded to him and been like, if you put some effort into like what you wore or how you danced, you would be hot as well.
Thank you. Maybe if you went to the gym and you weren't just a twink, you might look, your turtleneck might fill out like mine fills out. But just because you look like, I don't even know where there'd be like a skinny turtleneck character. Just because they look like something from The Incredibles that you could just stretch out looking like Gumby. And
maybe
well, I look damn good. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I look damn good. I have my, and like, let me tell you, I'm gonna show you my bracelet. I get so many compliments on this bracelet because it's a belt.
It's cute. I love it.
My bracelet. I'm like, girl, I ain't telling you that. Why am I gonna tell you that? You don't tell me where you get your sugar daddies, so why am I gonna tell you where's my bracelet?
I did have a thought just now then about that. Do you feel like, because we've been paying the taxes our whole life, right?
Oh God, like, I'm so tired. I gotta hold my face back. You know when you pull your ears back?
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. But are we taxes we've paid for in our 20s, are we less likely to pay for them in our 30s because we're more comfortable in who we are, where we don't put up with things that we didn't put up with in our 20s? Do you know what I mean? Like in our 20s, 100%. We'd be doing the most. Whereas in our 30s, 100%. We're like, I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to, go super all out. Like it changes, right?
I mean, I'll still go all out when it comes to my appearance and when I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
But also, I know I look damn good in a baseball hat and a gym top and my, gym shorts and my white sneakers. And I'm running those errands and I'm dragging a wagon behind me. Okay.
There's definitely less FOMO in your 30s.
Like, 100%. Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? Because
100% less fear FOMO. Just in case for anybody who's a boomer who might be listening, fear of missing out is FOMO.
FOMO is a driver of the gay tax. Like the creator of the gay tax knows that if they tap into someone's FOMO, that person will pay the gay tax. Like
100%. Look at Beyonce.
We are onto something.
Look at Beyonce in the Renaissance tour.
She tapped into it.
That was for the gays. And like I don't get FOMO like that. Like I really don't. I'm like, oh yeah, I went to Beyonce. Cool. Right? I'm like, unless you're gonna have me right in the pit in the front, I ain't trying to show up. Right? Because I want to be in the mix. Like I don't want to be watching a screen from a distance. And you know what? Some people thrive off that because they just want to be in the arena with the vibe that's going on, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I more like want to be up in the action, want to be on the stage, practically. So, but again, that was tapped into, and then everyone started coming in with their outfits, and then it was like, oh, then it was the mute challenge. Look around, everybody on mute, and like. Everyone had to be quieter than the last city, right?
Yeah.
So, and once the outfits started rolling out, like everybody started doing their outfits, and there was people who were really just putting the time and effort into those outfits.
And I loved it.
That is right there, the perfect example of tapping into the gay tax in order for someone to pay it. Beyonce knew.
She knew. Now, I'm just a bit conscious of time, but I'm looking through our notes because I think that this is a topic that we're going to have to come back to this topic in season 3, like, or it's just like the gay tax is going to be something that you and I are going to talk about forever, and like we're going to have to come back to this. But did you have a story?
Did I have? Maybe I went through 2 stories.
Something about. Okay, so I'm looking at our notes, and well, I don't know if you do. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't want to ruin your story. I'm just looking at our notes, and there's one about a listener who bought a lot of stuff to impress a hookup.
Yes. We do have a listener.
Yes, tell me. I want to hear the story.
Okay, so we have a listener, not had, because
Yeah.
they're an active listener. We have a
Yeah.
listener who met their dream date, their dream guy who showed interest on them on the grid, the
On the
Grindr.
grid. The grind. On the Grindr.
Wanted to take him out. When I tell you, because this, mind you, the guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be back in town next week. You know, let's go on a date." Blah blah. My friend, like our listener, went full throttle. When I tell you, they got micro needling facials. They got
All for a date. All for a date.
Because this, mind you, the gay tax. This was someone that they've always idolized, wanting to be with. Okay,
Like
I'm
this
just telling you
specific person.
based off what I
Like-
know, because we've had a conversation about this. Based off this, like this body's type of this person.
Oh, the
physique,
type of
look,
person.
this
Yeah.
was like chiseled.
Yeah.
You're talking statue of David God, just like sculptured, but like everything, right?
Okay. So not the person,
Nothing.
but the type of person.
Well, the person was nice too, apparently.
Okay.
Very genuine, very interested,
Wow.
very into this listener. And the listener was like just taken back. Like, I can't even believe this is happening. This is my ultimate dream guy. I have to land him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think that's
Goes,
that
gets a
again is-
microneedling facial,
uh,
gets all of
yeah.
the things that the dermatologist recommends in order to have that glowing, dewy skin that everybody does with the Korean skincare products, right? Meanwhile, I'm like, girl, go on Amazon, get the Korean skincare mask, leave it on for 4 hours, sleep in it, your skin will be glowing, it'll be fine. No, had to do above and beyond. Tapped their bank account. When I tell you there was no money left in their bank account, and it's drier than half the people's lips that I run into in America. Their bank account was tapped dry from buying sexy underwear, jock straps, thongs. And I mean, I was getting these pictures back to back. Like, what do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? What do you think? I'm like, girl, stop sending me these things because I cannot be opening my phone right now. I'm in public. And then messages the guy talking about like, oh, like how much do you think like the state's gonna cost? And the guy responds to our listener like, oh, don't worry, I got it. Over the edge with no bank account. I'm telling you, went into debt on their credit card in order to impress this man.
For one date. Wow. That is the gay tax.
Didn't eat the entire day because they wanted to hook up with this guy. And ended up landing them. Not only did they land this person, our listener.
Are they together?
No, our listener dropped them. Yeah. Okay, let's spin this back. So let me tell you. Where my glasses? I don't know where they're at. Okay. I'm just giving you the insight on this tea real quick because I know we got to go and we're low on time. So basically lands the guy, everything is perfect. Then once they start getting into it, actually dating wise, finds out that this man is controlling, obsessive, needs to know everything, every movement, wants the listener to quit their job, but also wants dinner ready at the house, wants the child raised when they have a child, the child raised the way that they want the child raised. The child is going to play 3 instruments by the time they're in elementary school, or by the time they're making their way through junior high school, play 3 instruments, speak 4 languages, not going to play sports because sports are too risky. Just all these requirements on our listener. Our listener is like, whoa, no, I'm going to have a say in my child's raising. And the guy was like, No, it's either my way or the highway. So our
Nah.
listeners sent them packing.
I'm going the highway. Bye.
So all that to be said, though, that is the gay tax, right? So like looking good, which I mean, women do it too, right? They go to Victoria's Secret, they buy their lingerie. So, but like the facials, the looking good. So like, I'm tired of hearing this on the internet. Like, men don't know what it is to be putting effort to look good for men. Like, girl, have you heard of the gays? Because they put in an effort to look good for the men. Okay, and baby Jesus can verify that for you. And so, where was I going with this? Oh, the gay tax. I want to let everybody know. Sometimes when you want to be part of this fantasy infatuation that you think you have all figured out, sometimes when you get what you ask for, you really end up finding out that you don't want it.
Yeah.
Which is what I found out from this like listeners, like, oh, you had everything that you ever wanted in this person, but then you realize you didn't want this person because there's baggage that comes with that, right? So the kids are going to be raised my way. You're not going to have a job. You're going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner ready for me when I get home. I better get it anytime that I want to, which ain't a bad thing.
And I think
I don't know why our listeners complain about that.
I think that like yeah, I want that.
Your baby Jesus is fine with that.
I knew that it was going to come back to that. I think then like my piece of advice to everyone and to our listeners is that like, okay, well, yes, we're part of the LGBTQ. We're part of the LGBTQ community. Come on, LGBTQ. We're part of the LGBTQ community. And so regardless, we are going to pay the tax. But stop it! Stop it! Russ just sends me a picture of Santo Nino on my phone. I thought he was like sending me some like in the background, like, girl, we gotta wrap it up. But he sends me a picture of baby Jesus because baby Jesus is always listening.
Baby Jesus, I'm telling you, I'm trolling you all week.
Let me give my advice to the listeners first. Okay, if you're gonna pay the gay tax, which if you're in the LGBTQ community, you are gonna pay the gay tax. Do it for yourself, please. Like, don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. Like, that's my advice. If you're going to pay the gay tax, pay it because you're doing it for yourself, not for someone else.
But also, I know you're the financial expert. However, I'm also very good with money on this end, even though I did spend $400 on a tie.
You're probably better than I am.
But let me just give y'all a word of advice.
Give it to us.
If you want to go above and beyond and go on these extravagant vacations and buy these extravagant clothes, like, y'all, make sure you got the money in the account to back it up. Like, if you want to live that life, at least have the financials to back it, or at least be smart with your investment so that you can pull that later. Don't be flexing for the Instagram, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a 24-hour news cycle turnover anyways. Someone's going to like your photo and that's about it, right? I mean, unless you're really making millions and millions of dollars off this content, like, then go for it. But again, you have to make sure your bank account is right before you do any of this. So that's my advice on the gay tax. Know who you are. Be comfortable with who you are. It's okay if you're not where you want to be, because you'll get there eventually, because you'll find an avenue to make it happen. If there's one thing that the gays know how to do, is we know how to pivot, and we know how to take over, and we know how to take someone's job if we need to. Okay? And the man, if they have to too. With that being said, what is your oh no moments to share with this week?
My oh no moment is a trade-off and a tax that didn't work in my favor. So first of all, it's Mardi Gras next weekend, and I'm supposed to be investing into my Mardi Gras body, yet Messina Gelato decides to release a special on their gelato menu, which is dulce de leche with
girl, I thought someone tried baking in my room.
The gay tax. It's the gay tax, girl. She's coming. Okay. It's baby Jesus. Okay, so Messina Gelato decides to release a special this week, which is dulce de leche and coconut. like dulce de leche and coconut mixed together in a gelato. I was like, I have to have that. Even though it's Mardi Gras next weekend and
That
I'm
sounds so
working
good.
towards my Mardi Gras and I'm paying the Mardi Gras tax, I need this ice cream. So that day as well, I also had a home without the M appointment. And I thought that I could eat this ice cream before the appointment. Girl, the tax did. Yeah, I paid the tax, and I had to cancel that appointment.
That's not where I was expecting the story to go.
No, because I would never get to that point.
Never.
If I know my body, and if my body is saying no boy, you can't do that. If my body is telling no auntie, no cashier, auntie. Auntie, no cashier. If my body is telling me that, then I gotta, yeah. You know, I wanted the ice cream and I didn't. I paid the wrong tax. I paid the wrong tax. I should have paid the tax of starving myself.
No, you shouldn't have. You know what? Because that'll come around again. That ice cream was worth it.
True. You know what? I literally just went against my own advice saying, do it for you. And what I said then, starving myself is not doing it for me. That's doing it for someone else, which I said not to do. So get the ice cream. Get the ice cream. But that's my oh no moment of the week where I was preparing for my appointment and I said, I got to stop preparing because there's nothing to prepare for right now.
Girl, my oh no moment of the week is I'm not celebrating Mardi Gras this year in Australia.
You need, like, I literally thought about this, right? The next time you go to Australia, you need to tell me, like, if you know, and why don't I just like book a flight? And
I was actually just thinking about like actually flying down there for a week to just like, even if I have to come to Adelaide, like, you know, and it like if I come there and then you take like 3 days off and we take like a weekend trip somewhere or whatever. Here's what I think. I think that we should plan a trip to the Great Barrier Reef and we should go snorkeling as the Good Day Gays, as the Gaylennials in the reef, and then we can shoot the podcast from the boat ride. It's a 2-hour boat ride to get from the port of Queensland into the port. Girl, say less. I'll pack my laptop and everything with it, and we will be shooting the podcast on a boat going all the way to the Great Barrier Reef.
Already, my gay tax mind is thinking, what am I going to wear?
Already, my gay tax is like, damn, how much of my credit card going to go up in debt now? And with that being said, y'all, let us know the ultimate gay tax that you have spent and drop it in the comments, DM us, send us a video so that we can share it with everybody on the podcast because we are one community and we are what? Gay. Anyways, girl, where you at?
Happy Mardi Gras!
Happy Mardi Gras! All right,
Happy Mardi Gras, guys. Bye.
Bye.